All right, so today we're going to jump into Polkadot, give an analysis, and take a look at maybe why this altcoin could be set for another jump. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. Of course, today Polkadot is on the front scenes. And when you look at Polkadot in general, the opportunity here, and a lot of people have been invested, including myself, and have seen a little bit of a lackluster performance. We've seen a lot of upside of where it potentially could go, but the reality is it has not taken the move. However, maybe times are about to change. I want to jump to this first article. Polkadot price will dive to collect liquidity and then push DOT to $50. This is basically where some of the big guys are pointing at where DOT could go. Polkadot price has experienced a little pullback after failing to retest the 70.5 Fibonacci retracement level at 38.30. The 10% pullback to a reset or retest the 50% Fibonacci retracement level at 30.14 is likely. And then what they're saying is essentially if DOT produces a daily close between 29.14, it will invalidate the bullish thesis. So we drop under the $30 mark, the likelihood is we won't see the bullish move on this. And there are some interesting things in the chart itself to be of notice. And of course, we're looking both at the sentiment data as well as what we see on Market Cipher in terms of where this market is moving. So be on the look for where this is going. I want to just kind of show a statement here that I thought was interesting. While this downsizing was likely, investors need to watch for an extension of this correction. This is the thing that we think is going to happen here. Causing a retest of 50% on the retracement of the Fibonacci level, this would be the 30.14 mark. Such a move will allow Polkadot price to produce an equal bottom and give the uptrend another go. This is where we think we'll see the bounce come back. And if the bounce does follow that methodology, the likelihood is this is where we see Polkadot flying. Now, a couple of key things have to happen. Altcoins, as you guys know, mostly because of Bitcoin's dominance, we've seen a lot of transitory movement in liquidity over to Bitcoin from a lot of the alts, which is why we've seen a little pullback in even things like Solana and Algorand and Avalanche, some of the high flyers that have been going for in the last 2 weeks. While we saw some of that happen, we have seen a little bit of this pullback, but it doesn't and did not necessarily happen to both Polkadot and the other one that we've talked about before that also didn't get the benefit of this movement was Matic. And we just did a video on Matic, so make sure and check it out. Now remember, before we get into the rest of the video, these are market movers. They're very simple. We'll grab together some research, some data, and then give you guys hopefully a direction that is moving in a place that hopefully can give you guys a direction that's moving in a place that will help you move on your crypto journey, whether it's investment, maybe collecting NFTs, whatever it might be. We are going to be doing some pretty cool things, though, I think that you guys are going to love, and it's a thing called Diamond Circle. Before we get into the rest of Polkadot, I got to tell you about this. It's free for you guys to join. It's real simple. Just click the link below. It's going to take you to our website, and it's very simple to join, free to join. The benefits are pretty cool. You're going to get some access to member-only content, free content. You'll also get cheaper, or I should say, discounted opportunities on some of our more extended resource courses. But best of all, you will automatically be enrolled into our airdrops for our digital assets, which we'll be doing every month, dropping back digital asset rewards to you, our viewers, listeners, and Diamond Circle members. So it's just that simple. Just join. Make sure and check it out, the website, because it's kind of also where we bring the videos out, some blogging, etc. We'll have some courses and a lot more member content over there. Where I want to continue on to the Polkadot story. And this was next leg up for Polkadot, may push the price up to 200% higher. This is, of course, by Benjamin Cowan. Remember, Cowan is the one that is essentially calling for crypto and Bitcoin to break its cycle, meaning that it would blow past the all-time high in this quarter and move into Q2 or 1 and 2 of 2022, which would start to retest the cycle of where we've seen cryptocurrency in the past. And the only ones we have to look at, of course, is 2017, and 2013, which a lot of people look at, and those are the ones that many people really lean on. Cowan is looking at the other direction. One note that he's basically said here, in a new strategy session, Cowan says DOT is very likely to reaccumulate in a phase forming similar pattern to its price action in late 2020, right before it exploded from $3 to also nearly to 50 in a matter of weeks. So big move right there in terms of where this speculation is going. And then also right here, this is with Polkadot's current value of $36.70. A move beyond $100 represents a potential upside of about 200%. Let me kind of zoom up on that just a minute to give you guys that. Cowen adds that he's not expecting the market cycle top in the next couple of months. This goes back to with his thesis of where this extension is going to happen, and most likely we're going to see the recurrence of the altcoin season coming most likely in January, which is really what some of the charts are even kind of indicating as well. Last is, remember, breakouts don't have to occur immediately. We can still be facing a range for weeks or months to come, but that's not even the point. The point is that phases like this usually should be considered opportunities, and once a breakout happens, everyone looks back and says, man, I wish I'd have jumped in there. And I totally agree. This is one of those things that happens all the time. I get it all the time in the comments. I get it all the time on Twitter, where people were, you had a video about, or you may have had a CEO on. Usually that's happening because we're doing a lot of research on the back end, seeing some trends that we're identifying. We'll go get the developer or a CEO or an executive to come in and talk to us about it. And a lot of times we'll notice these things early enough that if you were to invest in those at that time, if that was the right move for you, the likelihood is that you would be up in many of those cases. We've pulled this card many times and have proven it out in many cases to see some big uptrends of some of the projects that we've continued to watch. We're doing the same thing, and we'll continue to do that with some of our low cap altcoin gems, which is a video I'm working on right now. That will be coming out, especially with timing wise. There's some big opportunities here of moving. I want to jump to the chart real quick and mainly kind of talk about where Cowen is talking about, because in terms of where this could happen. If you look back here in October, sentiment was holding at 6204, AMP at 6301. This was a flip, meaning amplification higher, and we saw this massive parabolic move on DOT right here. So 6204, 6301. Then we had this little fall off right here, which started in early October 7th. We ran this through October 8th. Sentiment came down a little bit, 6204, 6301 also was the hold on this one. And then this one right here is the one that was the most recent sentiment that pulled in there, and that was the 6371 sentiment and a 6322. So what that tells me is that it's not exactly on in terms of where Polkadot is going, but it does show a little bit of upside here to around $36 on that resistance. That resistance line is really where we think it's going to hit, somewhere around the 16th. So back to what Benjamin Cowen was talking about, is that the likelihood of Polkadot flying maybe later this year, a little bit later, is the opportunity. So is this the time to potentially go in and buy some Polkadot? If you look back of where this is, I mean, you've got, I wouldn't say an all-time low, but definitely a low over the past few weeks at $32. Now we're hovering in right at the, what are we trading at? Right at 34.17 mark right now. Most likely we're going to see this move sideways and then possibly this little down trough right here, providing that we don't see a big move with the altcoins depending on Bitcoin dominance. Most likely that is not necessarily going to be the case unless we see the big correction from Bitcoin. And if that does happen, we could see some liquidations occur and some alternative transitory funds and liquid assets moving over into some alts to start moving into the altcoin era and realm in terms of where that market might be going. DOT could be one of those that really starts to benefit from that move when Bitcoin actually has a little bit of a market correction. So we're really watching some interesting things right now that could be big plays in the altcoin markets. And I think DOT this time could be one of the big ones that leads us out, much like Solana did on this last little run. So we're going to continue to give you guys a lot of these updates. Remember, if you're over on the podcast, the number one thing you can do over there is subscribe, of course, if you found it through search or maybe discovery. Subscribe to the show over there, give us some comments, we love that. But the best thing is to jump over here on the YouTube channel. It's where you're going to see the charts, where you're going to see some of our live interviews, and a lot of what we're doing on the live shows. And best of all, you're going to actually get to participate in the Diamond Circle stuff that we'll continue to be doing in terms of the airdrops and some of the money drops they're going to be doing back to our user base and our members, our family here, being the Diamond Circle around TechPath and the Paul Barron Network community. If you guys have something you want us to cover on the show, and maybe or you have an idea for one of the execs or a project that you'd love us to dig a little deeper into, drop it in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. It's just @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.